evening, everybody. What's going on? I should be down here, I think. Behold the absolute majesty of this counselor's corner. Good evening, PM Collector Boy. Good evening, Satellite, Mizroy, Fury, Manic. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. I'm here. I made it. I'm doing okay. Today's all right. Good enough, I think. What's up, Tradon? Good to see you. It was a nice day. All things considered. I really like weekends now. I feel a little less pressed in upon by everything. So I did some productive stuff, did some searching and some other things, but I also had some time to relax a bit. Had some time to devote to Farthest Frontier, and boy, I got a big ass town now. I've got like I got a town of like 750 people. I have so many people I don't know what to do with them anymore. They're all just like general laborers now. I can fully staff every building and farm and then some. It's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's pretty. Hunt them for the most dangerous game. Good evening, Eva. But yeah, some skirts. Now you might be wondering to yourself, what happened to the October community night? Why didn't it happen yesterday? And why isn't it happening today? Well, to be entirely honest, to be completely truthful with y'all, yesterday was actually not a very good day for me. I had a pretty rough day yesterday. I ended it okay. I was feeling better by the end of the evening, but it was rough going. And I'm certainly feeling better today, but I've talked about this before. There's a weird sort of stress that comes with doing request nights. There's this like baked in obligation to take games that you didn't pick yourself, and make them entertaining. Have a good time with them. Make sure other people are having a good time with them. And it's stressful. It's stressful in a way that picking your own content isn't. Ideally, you know, request nights line up with what you want to be doing at the time. And everybody's on the same page. Like, Next Fests are always this. Next Fests, like, I really enjoy doing a variety of, like weird and interesting stuff. But yeah, honestly, completely honestly, I couldn't do a horror variety night right now. I'm not there. It's not me at the moment. I am deeply affected by everything that's going on in my life right now, and it's just, I can't do it. I was looking at this list of games and I was like, I could not make this as entertaining as it's supposed to be. Even something like Silent Hill, like the original Silent Hill, I just don't feel like I could make it fun for myself. If I'm not making it fun for myself, I'm certainly not making it fun for viewers. So, forgive me. I apologize. I'm sorry to disappoint anyone. But yeah, I'm afraid the October community night is shelved. It is not happening. I will keep these games in mind. Like I said on Discord, I will keep them in mind. I may choose to revisit some of them in the future. The ones that I'd like to take a look at. But I don't know when that'll be, honestly. Times are strange, and I have good days and bad days these days, and I can never predict which one will be which. So, for the foreseeable future, y'all are just gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna do what I want, and y'all are just gonna deal with it. That's gonna be the channel until if and when I get back to feeling like my normal self. And that could be a very long time from now, frankly, given the way everything is. So expect Chaos-tober to extend into Chaos-vember and Chaos-zember and onwards and outwards indefinitely, really. Streaming has always been a sort of group therapy for me, and it is more so now than probably it ever has been before. So if I'm coming to stream, it's gonna be for something that I really want to do that has like a healing effect on me. And I know staring at a page that has fucking Tecmo Secret of the Stars, I understand your skepticism, but I've spoken at length upon the healing and therapeutic power of the power hours. So that's what we're doing tonight. Oh, also I'm challenging myself. I have a bottle of dark rum right now because it was on sale, and I don't really know what to do with dark rum. The internet told me I could mix it with orange juice, and I'm trying to decide if it lied to me or not. Like, every sip is better than the last one, but it's not starting off from a good place, so we'll see where we end up. Dark and strong. So I looked up a bunch of dark rum cocktails, and I don't have the ingredients for like 90% of them, so I was just looking for, I mean, for me, cocktails are just like liquor and a fruit juice. I'm very much a path of least resistance bartender. So rum is one of those things I never pick up. I should experiment with it. I used to watch this YouTube channel called How to Drink. I haven't watched it in a really long time, but that's what originally got me interested in making cocktails and mixed drinks and stuff. I should go back and watch more of it. I don't dislike it. I just got out of the habit. They always described rum as having like a funk to it, like a sort of like banana funk, and I get that, and it's weird. It's like, it's not my thing, but I really like some of my favorite drinks are rum based. And I can't really explain it. It's like, I don't like rum itself, but I like what rum can facilitate. So this is very different from gin, where I love gin on its own and I love everything that gin makes. So How to Drink is great. I love his history videos. Has some good ones. Like, yeah, I definitely need to go back and watch more of them. My save for later list on YouTube is getting just immensely long. Because usually I am either too invested in what I'm doing to put on something in the background, or I'm playing a video game. And I don't really have that nice cozy in between where I can put on a YouTube video on my second monitor while I'm doing something else. So I've been missing out on a lot of stuff that I like watching lately. So also, good evening, Helveet and Zem and Ballawork and Deep Thought. Good to see all of you. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Again, quick recap. Sorry about the October community night. It's not happening. I'm just not in the right headspace for it. And I fear that by the time I am... This is Dragon Quest music, isn't it? Yep, Dragon Quest 6. See, I can Shadows too. I fear by the time I am in the headspace for it, I'm just like, we're just gonna be off on different things. So I may pick up on some of the stuff y'all put down on my own, but yeah, sorry. And I think I don't think I mentioned this. I'm not gonna do a November community night at the very least. I'm gonna give myself a pass on that one. We may not do we may not do community nights for a minute while I'm rebuilding my psychological stability. So forgive me while I indulge myself. Yeah, the community's canceled. You can all go home. I mean, right now, I don't even know what I'm gonna do after Final Fantasy IV. Because we should be finishing that on Monday. Hey, schedule reminder. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Tonight's Power Hours, because I said it is. And tomorrow night's nothing, because I say it is. And then Monday, we're going to finish Final Fantasy IV. And then after that, I don't know. Odds are I will probably do a 1 or 2 night thing. Tuesday and Wednesday. If we finish the magazine tonight, which I think we will, we'll do some kind of special console night on Thursday. Start the next issue a week from tonight on Saturday. And then next Friday, if I were you, which I'm not, lucky you, I would expect one of our regular features, either Master System Odyssey or Curator Connect-Ageddon, or possibly a Weird Old Wheel. We don't do Weird Old Wheels very often these days, but they still lurk around the periphery of consciousness. Whoa, what was that? Hang on. Rum has that alcohol flavor to it I don't like no matter how much Coke I dump into it because I'm a bit... No, I totally get it. Rum has... I think it's that funk. I think it's that alcohol funk that gives it that effect. Yeah, I no shade to anybody who doesn't like rum. It is very much like gin. Like gin is an incredibly herbal tasting alcohol. You can't get around that. It is elemental to it. No shade to anybody who doesn't like gin. Vodka is like the true neutral of alcohols. Vodka is like, do you have a drink that you like? Cool. Put vodka in it. Now it is magically alcohol. Vodka is like the skeleton key of mixed drinks. Daiquiris are rum-based, yeah. I've got 10 hours in that Fear and Hunger video and said I'll watch the sequel when the streamer doesn't. Probably a good idea. My understanding, I haven't looked into anything about Terminus, which is the sequel to Fear and Hunger, because honestly, I've thought about playing it myself. I don't think I'll ever be able to bring myself to play the original Fear and Hunger, but based on what I've heard, I may be able to handle Terminus. So I might, I'm not gonna watch or learn anything about it until I decide once and for all. I have an apricot tart soda that pairs amazing with Seagram's gin. Ooh, that sounds brilliant. Playing Dredd Delusion, awesome. Good call. Also, good evening, Beth, kinda sorta. Good to see you. Fresh new existential crisis. It's just the current ongoing one. It is a work in progress, certainly. Also, good evening, Endeef. Did I miss your? I did. Endeef, I'm so sorry. Hang on. Let me just rewind a little bit. Do a proper, okay. Endeef alert! Jesus Christ, chat! I stabbed a vampire, beat zombies to death, and killed Diablo himself. My wife rushes through the room and shouts, "You're supposed to give them candy, Frank." Good to see you, Endeef. Good to see you. Rum is more of an 80s drink because it's normally all coked up. You mean pine salt. The only booze I can stomach easy is hard lemonade. Hard lemonade's really good. I like, what's it called? Angry Orchard? Like, hard cider. I discovered at my last job that I really liked hard cider. Which is funny because I don't buy it for myself. Yeah, vodka goes in anything. I'm not kidding. If you have a drink that you like, and you're like, this drink is excellent, but I wish it was alcoholic. I wish it could get me smashed. Put vodka in it. And like, for real, the better the vodka is, the less you will notice it in it. That's kind of the deal with vodka. Like, the really good vodkas don't even taste like alcohol. The cheap vodkas taste like rubbing, like floor cleaner. That's the difference. That's what I've discovered in my, at this point, years of cocktail making. The importance of, like, cheap versus expensive alcohol. Like, cheap alcohol tastes like alcohol. Expensive alcohol doesn't. That's the difference. That's it. You know, like chocolate milk brown Russian. What's up, Dave? Also, good evening, Shadows. Good to see you. Sitting in the corner with a smile on my face because I don't drink. I'm just happy to be here. I mean, that's the easiest way to be, honestly. There is nothing wrong with that. It's a far simpler existence without alcohol in it. Found a pineapple cider once, and that was way too sweet for me. My discovery with pineapple is anything you put pineapple in is just gonna taste like pineapple. Pineapple is the most demanding flavor there is, I think. You could mix like all sorts of different flavors and syrups and stuff. The moment you put a drop of pineapple in it, it's just gonna taste like pineapple. Vodka or tequila? Vodka every time. God created tequila to punish you just for being alive. I was blessed on that count. Me and tequila get along really, really well. I don't have any. I don't choose to drink it these days, but yeah, in my younger, stupider years, I drank a lot of tequila and it never messed me up. Sake was the one that got me. Sake was the one that really destroyed me. Partner picked up a surprise Angry Orchard Halloween 12-pack a few weeks ago. It was awesome. Wish we'd gone back and gotten another. And yeah, Angry Orchard is delicious. Angry Orchard is so good. If you like apple flavored stuff, apple juice, apple cider, Angry Orchard is the way to go. It's really good. Also, good evening, cheese toast. Absolute is absolute trash. Absolute is like my baseline. I will get Absolute when it is on sale, and I will use it for stuff like lemon drops, where there is enough stuff being put into it that it dilutes out the alcohol. I got something. I bought some vodka when it was on sale for like, it was seriously like $1. It was seriously like $1 or $2 for like a 750 milliliter bottle, and it tasted like rubbing alcohol. It was trash. It was so nasty. So yeah, Absolute and Sky are my baselines. That's about as cheap as I want to go with vodka. That's about as cheap as I am willing to go with my mixed drinks. Deep Eddy and Amsterdam are the two brands that I really like. They're relatively inexpensive, and they don't taste like floor cleaner. Vodka and Capri Sun called the PTA meeting. Been playing the Dragon Quest 1 remake. I'm very ready for it to be done already. Seriously. Main experience with alcohol was in college when I sipped it a few times, got a bit buzzed once, never really did it again. I mean, good on ya. Good on ya. It's something I really enjoy. Especially as I've gotten older and more stress has crept into my life. But I'm good. I've managed to keep myself from drinking as like a coping mechanism. I still only do it. I consider this social drinking. Like I drink with my wife at dinner, and I drink with y'all for stream. Because I mean, let's be real here. I am in front of an audience here. I am accountable to other humans, even if you are on the other side of the internet and we're only interacting via text message. You know, I still consider this a very social experience, and you know, I drink to enhance the experience. I do not drink alone, and I specifically do not drink to alleviate any of my stresses or concerns. I think that's the important thing. I will drink when I am unhappy, but not because I am unhappy. Kind of a weird thing to say. And it's not something I make a habit of either, so I don't know. Legit though, it does kind of have that problem. I've had a lot of recent remakes where it sure is longer, the scope doesn't fit the new. They made it longer? Oh, they shouldn't have made it longer. Like, Dragon Quest 1 is a nice compact game, and it's hard to find that with RPGs anymore. Like, Dragon Quest 2 is already, like, significantly more sprawling than the first one, so that was kind of like one of the nice things about the original Dragon Quest. It wasn't gonna take you like a couple dozen hours to finish. It's kind of disappointing to hear. I guess I will stick with Super Famicom Dragon Quest then. Also, good evening, Kuros. I don't think I gave you a proper greeting when you first popped in. Sake is dangerous, goes down smooth, can be up to 50%. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. When I was in Japan, teaching English, we had like 2 weeks of training. The last day of our training, all of us trainees went out to an izakaya, Japanese bar, to celebrate. And a bunch of the guys, I wasn't a big drinker at the time. A bunch of the guys got one of those like comedically huge sake bottles. And they started going through it and they're like, hey, you want some? I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. And I like knocked one back and I was like, this is like nothing. This is like water. Give me another. And to this day, I still don't remember how that night went. Once I started in on the sake, I have no memories of the rest of the night. I got home somehow, and then I had the worst hangover of my life the next day. Fortunately, I didn't have to teach the next day. So. That is, yeah, that's weird and dangerous trade-on. Those are seriously the most dangerous alcohols, the ones that don't actually taste like anything. Costco 1.75 liter for $14 vodka. The Kirkland stuff. I don't have any experience with Grey Goose, no. Parasocial drinking. I think it's vodka with a mixer, and platinum is super cheap when I am in bottom shelf but above rubbing alcohol level. Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's not burning your palate too much. No one can blame you if you need a little buzz to help deal with chat. Shame, because I think Dragon Quest 3's remake walked the expanding things without bloating it tightrope very well, and one does not. I feel like, yeah, I think at this point, when I do the Dragon Quest games, because it feels like an inevitability at this point. We spend so much time now doing JRPGs and Final Fantasies and stuff. I'm gonna have to jump over to Dragon Quests eventually. And I've already done a night of Dragon Quest 1 on Super Famicom. I think the Super Famicom ones are gonna be the way to go. I think the old NES ones are a bit too clunky. And the new like 2D HD remakes, I love the way they look. They look wonderful. But I don't love the things that I hear about them, about what they've changed. And for this channel specifically, doing actual retro stuff always seems to do better than the modern remakes. And I had a third point and I already forgot. Doing real good tonight, chat. Drink to get through the experience yourself. Much like a good vodka, good tequila, it doesn't taste like much. Good evening, Ralibor. Good to see you. Can't stand shooting tequila. Like drinking it too much, so I tend to sip it. Oh, nice. Nice. A lot of new dungeons, a lot of new bits to try to make it more like a sequel to 3. It sort of feels not like Dragon Quest 1 anymore. Yeah, and that's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. I want the authentic Dragon Quest 1 experience. 3 is very tasteful towards the original. 2 that you're more curious about? I mean, 2 needs a lot of work. We've talked at length about how messed up the difficulty curve in 2 is. 2 would probably benefit the most from a remake. GBC for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 is SNES version with a professional tier localization. One exception I would recommend is Live Alive. If you do end up doing it, the remake is better. Okay, I will keep that in mind because I've had an eye on that one. not gonna spend $80 on a game of remakes of 80s menu RPGs. At the end of the day, there's still 80s menu RPGs. I'll get them on discount. Yeah. I say translationism, stuff like saying the Dragon Lord covered the world with demons. Ah, yes. The Sherwin-Williams approach to world domination. Anyway, chat, we've been rambling like hell tonight. We're off to a good start. But I want to get into the magazine because I think it'd be cool if we finish this tonight. I think it would be a good thing to finish this and move on. I've already talked to you about the schedule. Nothing tomorrow. Finishing Final Fantasy IV on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, who the hell knows? And then next Thursday, we'll do something special. Something retro console-y special. And then start the next issue of Nintendo Power a week from tonight. And next Friday will probably be one of our regular Friday features. We'll see. Actual direction, reasonable cave to Roan. Nah, I like the cutie princess, bro. No, we're gonna do some Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd, if I remember correctly, this Judge Dredd is hewn from the same cloth as Alien Cubed. A very similar, it's not completely open like Alien Cubed is, which is one of the interesting things about that game. But I think the mechanics of it are very similar. Good ramble. Aw, thank you, Ballerwork. I appreciate that. I'm still not starting a podcast. I will not fall into that white boy trap. One line that made me generally laugh out loud, though, is I encountered an NPC after I finished a dungeon that was generally kind of horrified by my party, consisting of one guy in questioning if I have fun. You have a stinker on your hands, and one of the questions you field is, how do I leave this level? It's not a great sign. It really isn't. But how do I enter the exit door? Each area in Judge Dredd has an exit door. You can't go through one until you complete the primary objective for the mission. A small red message in the upper left corner of the screen flashes primary objective complete after you finish each mission. You can enter an exit door with this message is flashing. Okay. So, do the mission before you try to leave the mission area. Seems reasonable to me. And then how do I defeat Rico? This will not be relevant to us, because this is like 7, 8 levels in. The first step to beating him is to make him activate his anti-grab belt. Hit him with 5 incendiary missiles to get him airborne, then move to the bottom of the screen, start firing heat seekers or double whammies. They home on their targets. Rico's hit, he drops a special weapon canister. Is the only device that can defeat him. Takes roughly 10 hits with the weapon to destroy Rico. Okay. And then there's some stuff about Tecmo Secret of the Stars. Literally the only interesting thing about Tecmo Secret of the Stars is the just dumbass names they have for everything. Where is Bad Bad located? Bad Bad has transformed the inhabitants of BGs into a pack of raving canines. I'm sorry. Fucking what? Like, were you standing around in a record store when you were coming up names with this fucking game? This is also the game with Jeep Volcano. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Other than Tecmo Secret of the Stars is kind of ass. If you're living in the Reagan administration, the defeating Rico would be plenty relevant. Past week, my GameCube mod chip came. Honestly, really happy with how easy it was to install, but discovering that basically every GameCube hack is hardware compatible. Oh, that's cool. Been nice to finally have a way to play Game Boy games full screen. Yeah. Man, the GBA player for the GameCube was so cool. I was always kind of sad when I realized how expensive it was going to be for me to get a GBA player, because they are hard to track down, at least complete one. You can sometimes find the hardware, but missing the disc. But then the Analog Pocket happened, complete with dock, allowing me to connect it to my streaming setup, so that kind of fixed everything for me. Alright, anyway, Judge Dredd has been requested, and he is the law, so also that track was from Gun Hazard. That's surprising. He is the law, and the law is not mocked. Secret of the Stars is kind of a shame. It's so close to being bad, it's good fairy tier RPG. It's just boring is the problem. Like, Feria was weird. Feria was bizarre and short. Like, if your RPG is gonna be bad, like, you gotta at least give us that. It's gotta be weird as hell, and it has to not overstay its welcome. Tecmo Secret of the Stars fails on both counts. In the third millennium, the world changed. Climate, nations, all were in upheaval. Humanity itself turned as violent as the planet. Civilization threatened to collapse. And then a solution was found. Murder everyone. Crumbling legal systems merged with the overburdened police, creating a powerful and efficient hybrid. These new guardians of society had the power to dispense both justice and punishment. They were judge, jury, and executioner all in one. They were the judges. Thanks, Ike, because I'm using GBI, which is a homebrew alternative Game Boy player disc and allows much sharper visuals. Oh, nice. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, this is Stallone Dredd. This is very important, Chad. I need to make sure everybody understands this. Judge Dredd is good because it is satire. It is extremely pointed satire of like police state and authoritarian culture. Stallone Judge Dredd did not get the memo. Stallone Judge Dredd was like, ooh, action hero man. He's the good guy, right? And ran with that. Carl Urban Judge Dredd got the memo. Carl Urban Judge Dredd, excellent. Top tier. Cannot recommend it enough. Absolutely gutted it never got a sequel or further development. But yeah, just so we're on the same page here. This game is not representative of the true Judge Dredd experience. If you want to go plumb the 2000 AD archives, I would recommend it. Judge Dredd is, if anything, more relevant now than it ever was before. Yeah, the Carl Urban Dredd movie is so fucking good. I loved it. Same reason Starship Troopers is so enjoyable. Exactly. Starship Troopers is a really interesting case because OG Starship Troopers is actually kind of a love letter to authoritarianism, and then the Verhoeven movie wrote their own memo and is a satire of authoritarianism in the police state. So, as long as we get there eventually, Chad. as long as we can all agree that authoritarianism is bullshit, it's okay. I thought this was Tecmo Secret Stars for a second. I was about to say this looks rad as fuck. Man, I wish. Man, I wish, but no. This is Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. I'm the law. Verhoeven movie is a hate letter to the novel. It's one of the few cases where I'm entirely for that approach. The book is ass. Yes. Yeah. Guilty. Okay, so that's the... Okay. Ow. That guy's shotgunned me a bunch. Ender's Game Genocide is cool, yo. Did I go the wrong way? So, okay, we've played Judge Dredd before, and my chief complaint about it is that the levels are really annoying to navigate. Ah, yeah, here's the ladder down. Ow. The poop vents hurt me. Don't get me started on cards, sorry. Sorry. Tickety tack. Orson Scott Card. Author of Ender's Game. Yeah. Mission status. We're in Heavenly Haven. Destroy ammunition supplies. There are 18 ammunition dumps. The rest are sentence all perps. We got 3 out of 12 so far. Health is... I'm not going to say it out loud. The kids are not memeing all right. General shells, ricochet, grenade, high explosive, incendiary armor, heat seeker, double whammy, boing, flare. I do appreciate that they have all of Dredd's exotic weapon types in this. Poster child for how the fuck did you misunderstand the message in your fucking book until Rowling came along? Okay. No, I wanna leave. I'm done. Let me just trash you into their first experience trying to separate art from the artist. Which, like, straight up, I encourage everyone to do. Like no lie. You know, we talk about this a lot. Everyone has to make their own ethical calculus when it comes to questionable creators and questionable creations. My position on it is like enjoy what you enjoy. The world is already stressful and fucked up enough that like you shouldn't necessarily feel obligated to give up on something because its creator is bad. If you're comfortable doing that, fine. If you can't bring yourself to do it, also fine. Like we all take comfort in different things, and it's honestly a big ask to give up on something that's, you know, important, informative to you for whatever reason. So I do honestly encourage death of the author. I do encourage, if you really enjoy something and the creator's just a big old piece of shit, like, look past that. I still enjoy Sandman. I still think Sandman is a seminal work of comics. Neil Gaiman might be a huge piece of shit, but I will forever enjoy Sandman. Also, I already bought and paid for them, so. For you, it's a case where I respect when people are able to do it. I struggle for a lot of things, and yeah, please, don't feel obligated. Don't feel honor bound to give up on things, boycott things because the creators are bad. Again, like, life is just fucked up, man. The world is fucked up. There is, as Sonic will always remind us, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. And we don't get to pick who's, you know, we don't get to pick who our heroes are. Can be fun to hate on people who are pieces of shit. Sometimes the nicknames that come out of it are wild. They're very childish. Sandman, American Gods, Coraline, his stuff is amazing. Too bad he's a shit hill. And you know, I think it's a good and important thing to recognize, you know, despite his nature as a predator and sex pest, you know, he still made amazing media. You know, we don't. I was supposed to kick that door. I was supposed to kick that door. I was supposed to kick that door. Judge Dredd known for his kicks. Did Stallone kick anybody in the movie? Because I don't remember it. Bargain of Predator and Sex Pest is a bit sad how I can tell exactly who we're talking about. It could be... Oh, can't tell, yeah. In this case, Neil Gaiman. Why is that man on fire? Secondary objective... Oh! Okay. This game does do one neat thing that we will never get to because it's just not... Frankly, it's not good enough to demand that kind of time investment. This this game is based on the Stallone flick, but it goes past it. The boss fight with Judge Rico, who is the villain of the film, happens... this is the door. Okay, I get it. Because you find the door before you really have a chance to find the rest of the stuff you need to do. The game actually goes past Judge Rico and into the Dark Judges, which is something that I'm not even sure the movie even mentions at any point. Like, use the parallax scrolling for the windows. Kind of a shame to me the background you barely see is so much more elaborate than the main background. Yeah. Dredd supports the fastest Death Note state, so of course he needs to use fabulous jackets. I think I'm okay, I think I have to get up there, but I don't know how to get up there. Let's just change weapons. Don't you ever heard about the Dark Judges? No. Because, I mean, it's a lot. It's honestly a lot. They kind of... Like, the Dark Judges are where it kind of strays into the supernatural. Not kind of, it does. Like, the Dark Judges are like pain demons from another dimension or some shit. Also, I think I'm done with this. It's not necessarily a bad game, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to navigate, and it just kind of ends up being unfun after a while. So yeah, forgive me, I am not the law. The law is to be mocked. Yeah, basically nothing about what we're discussing. I mean, like, Judge Dredd knowledge is pretty niche. I think the vast majority of people who know anything about Judge Dredd now know it from the Stallone movie, which is basically the opposite of what Judge Dredd actually is. Judge Dredd, of course, is like British police state satire that was published in the magazine 2000. I don't know if it's still going or not, but there's a shitload of Judge Dredd out there. And it was basically a running commentary on Thatcher's Britain and all the bullshit that came with it. Hollywood grabbed up the rights to Judge Dredd. We're like, ooh, police strongman. He's the hero, right? And made the Stallone flick with pretty much no self-awareness of the actual source material. Decades later, the Carl Urban Judge Dredd movie came along, which is much, much, much more authentic to the original intent of the comic, and is just a really, really good film in its own right. But anyway, I'm getting a little off topic here. The 2000 Judge Dredd, I mean, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it, and it goes into some really weird places, fleshing out the, like, okay, the setting of Judge Dredd is basically post-apocalyptic Earth. A nuclear war or climate change or something ruined the entire planet. Humanity is collected in megacities, the only livable places left on the planet. Everything outside of that is cursed Earth. People do live out there as like mutants or cast-offs or whatever, but all of real civilization is in the megacities. And they started getting really weird and creative with it, and came up with some like borderline supernatural elements, like the Dark Judges, who are like these demonic presences that Again, I haven't really read much Judge Dredd, and I don't know a lot about the Dark Judges, but just on the surface of it, it looks to me like the Dark Judges are kind of meant to be the not inverses, but rather the extremes of the values that Judge Dredd and the whole judge system represent. Also kind of a cross with like the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Vibing after Judge Dredd is Thatcherism with laser guns, yeah. Opposed to Warhammer 40k being Thatcherism in space. At least Mad Max gave people sick wheels and Tina Turner. Knowledge of the Dark Judges ends. My knowledge of... There is a great... Y'all can... I'm not going to bring it up, but y'all can look it up. There is a great panel, or I guess 2 panels, really, from 82,000 of Judge Dredd facing, I think, the leader of the Dark Judges, Judge Death or whatever, and he's like taunting Dredd, and he's like gaze into the face of Death or something, and Dredd gets up and punches him like through his head and says, "Gaze into the fist of Dredd." I always thought that was a particularly badass panel. When do we get Drudge Jet? They have the same kind of the same motivation in their minds. Life is a crime. I gotcha. Okay, cool. Cool. Imagine the Court of Owls with their power scaling fascism more than they already do. I've not read Absolute Batman. I've watched a few videos about the, like, Absolute DC and how bonkers it is. Not really my thing, but, yeah. Anyway, I think we spent enough time on these 2 pages. Let's turn the page! What do we got? Super Punch Out! How to reach special circuit? Who cares? How do you defeat Bubble? Punch the man until he falls down. How do you defeat the mass muscle? Man, Nintendo Power went through all of this stuff ages ago. They had guides for all of this shit, including, like, speedrunning guides. So. Donkey Kong Land! How do I save my game? Wait. What the fuck? How do I save my game in Donkey Kong Land? You can save your game by spelling out Kong when you complete a level. Fans of Donkey Kong Country for the Super NES might remember the spelling out Kong in that game gave them extra life. Most Donkey Kong Land players return to earlier, easier stages to find all the letters and save them. You have to find all the letters to save your fucking game? I thought DKC 2 was obnoxious. That's so stupid. And then apparently extra lives cap out at 20 in this. Oh no! No, PM Collector Boy, why? Q&A Fast Facts, Balls, 3D, how to enter Hyper Mode, how to execute a finishing move, Operation Europe, and FIFA International Strategy. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. Alright, well, I guess let's get pushed around in Donkey Kong Land. I guess we'll get to find out if I actually saved in that game or not. DK Land 2, I think, works nicer. I mean, nicer than this, for sure, but still made me plenty grumpy. I don't know, honestly, like original DKC might be as far as I go with the series. Like, I find DKC 2, like, surprisingly irritating the further I get into it, and then, yeah, Donkey Kong Land is no bueno. Maybe DKC 3 will be good? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be anybody's favorite. Also, there were 3 Donkey Kong Lands on the Game Boy, so. DK Land 1 is bad, 2 is decent, 3 is weird. Okay. Oh, sorry, you were actually talking about Donkey Kong Land 2. My bad. Sorry about that. Boing. Sorry, Secret of Mana soundtrack. Really interesting because some people enjoy DKC but find DKC 2 to be torturous while others love DKC 2. Yeah, I'm definitely the former. DKC 2 is really obnoxious to me. You will like 3 if you don't like 2. 3 uses 2's gameplay as base for its own. That's a shame. Okay, so apparently I did save in this. I made it to World 2, so. Oh, okay. What the fuck is going on? What happened? Okay, apparently we're here now. The thing 3 does best is overworld. You get more open feeling world map where you sail around RPG style. That's cool. DKC is fucking hard. Glad I finished it. It really feels the second half of the game is just trying to get you to quit playing at times. Still some fun stages. Yeah, I couldn't get that far. Like the mechanics of the early game just started pissing me off. I was done. I was fucking done when I got to that stage with the fish with the headlamp following you around that flashes you in the fucking eyes every time you turn around. I was not having that. Hated that shit. Yeah, right from World 2 or 3 in DKC 2, it just starts pissing you off. DKC 1 actually had the 2 with the prayer. I don't remember that at all. Did I looked away from the screen for like a second. Did I die? That happened fast. Lurk, I have Sonic Rush to play, which I'm having a really good time with so far. Nice! Enjoy. Oh, I didn't land the last jump? Okay. I just assumed I did. There's some very like subtle gameplay differences in this from actual DKC, and one of them is like you actually lose momentum when you're jumping compared to when you're running. God damn it. So it makes some of the jumps harder than they should be. In Donkey Kong Land, DK Land 3, which I borrowed from someone at church when I was a kid. Tried getting her attention, give it back during his tours by spelling out things with my hands. Bang. DKC 1 is a very don't stop going game. Just didn't understand the lesson. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like, it's interesting to compare both, like, DKC 2 and Donkey Kong Land to the original game. Like, the original game is, like, very much a... DK. Oh, DK. So the original DKC is very much a... not rhythm platformer, but like it has a flow to it. I think that the best part about DKC 1 is that it has like a very distinct flow to it. And DKC 2 and DKL 1 don't. But they don't in different ways. Like DKC 2 took the mechanics of DKC 1 and started like pushing them out. It's like, what? How can we challenge players more with this? You know, kind of like. I mean, I'm not gonna claim it's like the Donkey Kong the Lost Levels or something, but like the comparison does kind of stand out. I know. What is that note? That sounded insane. You know, Mario 1 has a flow to it, you know? Once you get the vibe, once you know where things are, you can just kind of like fly through it. You can't do that in Lost Levels. Yeah, that's gross. I hate that. Oh, I really don't like that. Sorry, chat. I'll go in the next level. Sorry about that. I do apologize. DKC just going donkey to be like, when I have to use barrels to deal with thick bags. Yeah, I am so sorry about that. That was ugly. That was really ugly. So, meanwhile, this one... How would I characterize this one? It definitely, like, it absolutely does not have the flow that DKC 1 does. But it's not punitive like DKC 2 is. You know, honestly, I think Donkey Kong Land feels more like a generic platformer. I think it kind of loses some of the... Well, it certainly loses the flow that makes DKC 1 special. But, like, you know, DKC 2 still feels like a Donkey Kong game. It still feels like distinctly Donkey Kong-ish. This one doesn't so much. This one feels like a much more generic platformer. God damn it. I didn't even notice that. Screen crunch and stiff controls are the problem here. Yeah. The controls definitely are not helping. I love that it's so low resolution. Can you tell what half these enemies are? Yeah. And man, I remember, of course, Nintendo Power puffing this up is like, they recreated the DKC graphics perfectly. It's like, yeah, I guess. You, like, took a Polaroid of him and Xeroxed him. I am vouch for this game being a nightmare to understand on a real Game Boy. Oh yeah, this would be, like, borderline unplayable on real Game Boy. I mean, they tried. I gotta give them credit for trying. But... shit's rough, man. Oh, I remember OG Game Boy screens had ghosting, and there is so much detail on these screens that it would just make it unfucking readable. Wow, I do not like this level. Cover Crash, dude, looking at the man. Yeah, like Donkey Kong's really well animated. Like they absolutely tried. They made the effort, and it is a good, like, you know, it's a good looking game here in the future where we can play it on emulator with, like, you know, perfect contrast and graphical fidelity. I don't like these things. I really don't like what even the hell are they, man? Do you remember Game Boy Pocket actually didn't have much ghosting at all back in the day with the screen shades like milk? Yeah, OG Brick Game Boy is real bad about ghosting. I mean, some games with relatively simple graphics, it could actually kind of add to the experience. Like, I remember Solar Striker actually looked pretty cool because of the ghosting. God damn it. I do not like these things. Alright, we're done. Also, only one Kong can be animated at a time. Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I was like, is the other one even in this? Almost one-to-one Metroid 2 enemies. I know exactly the ones you're talking about, too. When I remember Donkey Kong Land 3, they were a lot better at limiting the background detail and better using contrast to highlight platforms and enemies. That's good, at least. At least they learned from the experience. Not every series. Okay. I like this now. I think I needed some of the ice to melt to take a bit of the edge off the rum, but I like it now. All right. I don't know why I'm doing another level. This is gonna be the last one. I'm not a Donkey Kong guy, chat. I've decided. I really like DKC 1. think DKC1 is my vibe. I don't expect to really like any of the other ones. Not after my experiences with this and DKC2. I think it's kind of like me and Silent Hill. I love Silent Hill 1. That's pretty much it. I'm not a Silent Hill fan. I'm a Silent Hill 1 fan. You're gonna love DKC64 then. Or DK64. Oh, don't I know it. It's this song, but they butchered it. I mean, it's the Game Boy. They've only got so much they can do. I'll give them some credit. There's only so much they could do. Also, the hit detection on this is really wonky. Oh, fuck. The screen crunch is really hurting me here. Oh. Oh. DKC3 is supposed to be really good, or am I misremembering? I've never heard anybody call out DKC3 as their favorite. It's always one or two, in my experience. I was just stages have pass-through walls in them. Yeah, so this song is a really good example of, like, the Game Boy just didn't... Wow, there's 2 checkpoints in this one. The Game Boy soundscape just did not have the capability to capture certain vibes. And, like, yeah, Donkey Kong Country's legendary water song, it can't do it. It cannot capture the vibe of that. How very like cozy and comfortable it is. Like, the Game Boy can't do that. It just can't. Can I be done? Christ. Also, it's not gonna save after I finish this level anyway, because I didn't find all the letters, so, I think we're done with this. The thing is, DKZ1 is the only one that wasn't a collectathon, so the gameplay changes pretty much instantly between the games. It become coin hunts. Yeah. You know, I hadn't really considered that, but yeah, I think that was kind of a drag in DKC2, how coin dependent everything was. I liked just going through DKC1. I liked that it didn't actually matter what I picked up during the stage. I could get extra lives, I could find some secret areas. That was all cool, but it didn't actually matter. As long as I finished the level, it was fine. And yeah, DKC2, all of a sudden, all this other shit matters. Like banana coins and creme coins. You need all this shit for other shit. And like, don't get me wrong, I love me a good collectathon. I love collecting shit. I love having different currencies. I'm fine with that if the act of collecting them isn't onerous bullshit on its own, and DKC2 was not particularly good about that. I think you might like some of the more modern DKC games like Tropical Freeze. They really focus a lot on speed and flow with endurance. Okay, that is good to hear. That is good to hear. That is encouraging. Tropical Freeze didn't click for you. It was a you problem. Returns kicks ass. Returns go for was that mapping for roll. Issue of being in the wrong mood at the time. That can happen too. Yeah, you can just approach something at the wrong time. Roll is mapped to shaking the Wiimote. That sounds horrible, honestly. Portable punishment, chat. You're gonna love DK64. I know, Lodro High. I know. I have it, don't I? I think that was one of the N64 games we were oohing and eyeing over. Not as bad as you think, it's weird as fuck. There you go, Master of Light Punch. But Killer Instinct on the Game Boy, I could possibly be bad. Oh, you know. For those who can't get enough of the best fighting game of all time. Okay, so we've established, thanks to the magic of Nintendo Power, Donkey Kong Country 1 is the greatest game of all time, bar none. And now Killer Instinct is the best fighting game of all time. So apologies to Street Fighter, to Mortal Kombat, to King of Fighters, and Tekken, and Guilty Gear, and DBZ, and all that other shit. Sorry. Killer Instinct has beat. Rare slip number 20. DK64, I love me good 3D collectathon. Speaking of game flow issues, favorite thing about Game Boy fighting games is almost all of them have Super Game Boy enhancements, so you can enjoy a subpar fighting experience on the big screen. On the same console, you can play the actual game on. True enough, true enough. Now, that being said, some Game Boy fighting games are okay. Some of them get the job. In fact, like, I'm trying to remember, did we do KI on Game Boy? Wasn't it okay? Wasn't it tolerable? The ones that I remember liking are actually the SNK ones. Like, Game Boy Sam Show is actually pretty solid, from what I remember. Because they understood the limitations of the Game Boy. They gave you little super deformed versions of all the characters that actually fucking fit on the screen and gave you the space to, like, maneuver around each other. I don't think Killer Instinct is even my top 10. I don't even think about Killer Instinct when it comes to, like, straight up. Like, Killer Instinct is kind of consigned to the dustbin of history with, like, Primal Rage and those. Was it Mortal Kombat 2 for Game Boy that was okay? I can't remember now. Like, yeah, truth be told, we played some okay Game Boy fighters, but I don't remember which ones they were, because in general, the best they were passable. I remember Game Boy Sam Show because that was actually fun. That was, like, maybe the best one I played. But yeah, sorry. I know the KI remake was a big deal for a lot of people, but yeah, Killer Instinct just doesn't rate for me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be real uncharitable here for a second. I feel like their character lineup, I feel like the roster is just trying too hard, frankly. It's a mix of, like, really, really, really obvious characters like the Boxing Man and the Ninja Man and the Skeleton Man and the Sexy Lady. And then where they tried to get away from that, they just didn't get very far. Then there's a werewolf and a robot. We made a fire guy, so here's an ice guy. Like, rosters are a huge deal for me, Chad. Like, technically, yes. Like, the gameplay of a fighting game is the most important thing. But I can't really stick with a fighting game where I don't give a shit about the roster. That's why I try so hard to enjoy SNK games, because I love SNK's rosters. I love SNK characters so much. Like, they are, like, peak fighting game lineup for me. I'm much better at Street Fighter. Like, Street Fighter mechanics click much better for me. I'm better at Tekken. Tekken mechanics click for me. But Tekken was a rough one for me because I didn't particularly care for the roster there either. But the mechanics were solid enough that I really enjoyed it. Conversely, I tried to get into Soul Calibur because I liked the roster, but I was ass at the game. So I've never really been able to, like, well, no, that's not true. Capcom versus SNK 2. Capcom versus SNK 2 is like the one fighting game that had it all for me, because it had Street Fighter mechanics and SNK characters. And that was my dream game. That was the one fighting game that I really, really got into and I got really, really good at. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was kind of like that, but CVS 2 was special for me. Oh god, I love that game so much. So, like Soul Calibur's roster, decent bitch. See, decent bit. Sorry, that was a terrible slip of the tongue. Hope nobody heard that. Fighting games are absolutely an exercise in character, because that's the entire game. Like, yeah, you spend every game that's not a first-person shooter or like a high-level strategy game staring at your character. But fighting games, it's literally just your character and the other character, and you are at all times paying acute attention to what your character is doing, because you got to get the spacing and the timing on everything right. I would argue that there may not be any game where the character is more important than fighting games. RPGs included. I mean that. I mean that with every fiber of my being. I think the characters themselves may be the most important in fighting games, because there's just there's like nothing else going on in the game. It's your character versus another character. It's character versus character. That's the entire game. That's it. Meanwhile, DOA's roster is dem titties, and I love it for it. I apologize for nothing. I love Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive 3 specifically. I think that was the one that I really got into. I like a lot of anime fighters for how insane their rosters are. I haven't played that many, but like I used to play Melty Blood back when that was like just like a fan game floating out there in the ether. And I liked Melty Blood for that. Whereas I like fighters, so I can enjoy Blaze Blue. I mean, it's like any game, it's an acquired taste. Fighting games might have a bit steeper a curve to really get into. But I mean, and you can do it. Just put the time in. Shit, I learned to appreciate Mortal Kombat 11, and I am terrible at the Mortal Kombat mechanics. Toho Fighters all so fucking bizarre, and I love them for it. Staunchly refuse to make a normal ass fighter. Maltese, Jan, Lee, and Ellie. Yeah, I don't care. I'm only playing the ladies in DOA. That's all I care about. I also really like the female characters in it. Like my mains in DOA were the two ninja ladies, Katsumi and Ayumi. Was that them? Red hair ninja and pink hair ninja. That's all I need to know. Because their team up attack smash their opponent between their ass cheeks. Love Dead or Alive. No, the DOAs had great mechanics. It was straight up rock paper scissors. What was it? Strikes beat throws, throws beat parries, parries beat strikes. That was it. That was the whole thing. That's all you needed to know. And it was wonderful for it. It was fast-paced and frenetic and visceral, and it was great. I loved it. Shame. It's a shame that series died out. Kasumi and Ayame, sorry. Ayane. Whatever the fuck her name is. Pink hair ninja. Was the game that has a president himself wielding a coffin as a weapon that has an alien for Area 51? That's Guilty Gear Strive, yes. And that is the Secretary of Absolute Defense. Yeah. The president is a ninja. The president of the United States in Guilty Gear is Chip Z'Nuff. But his Secretary of State is a big chunky dude with a pompadour, a laser eye patch, and a coffin with an alien in it. 'Cause Guilty Gear. Fighters Megamix is still your favorite Sega fighter. It's like 50% the most insane joke characters they can imagine. Wish I could get good at fighting games. Love to watch every major FGC tournament. Cannot play the games worth shit. Or if in mid-40s too late to, it is not. I will tell you right now. It is never. It is, yes, Chip is the president of the United States. Chip is the president of the United States. Anji Mito is like the last living Japanese person in existence. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember Sin's whole deal, because he's got a really funny thing going on with Soul and Kai. Sometimes things are so cool it doesn't matter if they make sense. Yeah. DOA also has Dennis Rodman as a character. It's true. Isn't Chip the president of the country? I'm pretty sure Chip is president of the United States. I mean, you could Google it right now. I'm sure there's some massive Guilty Gear explainer that'd be happy to clarify all this for us. So talking about Nintendo, have you seen Close Combat? No, I don't think I have. I don't believe I have. Anyway, all this is to say, I don't give a shit about Killer Instinct. Sorry to Killer Instinct fans out there. Not trying to yuck your yum. It just ain't for me. I think the roster sucks ass. And we're just gonna move on. Because the Game Boy couldn't even shove all the characters in it. So yeah. Let's talk about Super Return of the Jedi, chat. Super Game Boy Return of the Jedi. Watch a video on Disaster Day of Crisis that makes me want more natural disaster survival action games aside from that Disaster Report. Kind of shocked there was a AAA game attempting that. If any concept would benefit from that degree of fidelity possible with a high budget. I mean, at this point, the only AAA games you're getting are like pre-established shit. Like that's the state of the industry right now. Like there are precious few big publishers that are gonna take a chance on anything that isn't a sequel or a spin-off. Did you ever play Too Spicy in arcades? Is a close range gunfight? Nope, can't say I have. Pokemon Close Combat is a fan-made Pokemon-based close combat game where every character introduces Pokemon that is fighting is one of its types. Hand-drawn, hand-animated. Interesting. Australia 5 plays Wicket, said nobody ever. Wicket's actually really good in the Super NES version. I don't know if he's worth a damn in this one. Yeah. Man, I don't know about this. Non-stop action highlights this new game that's based on the adventures of the most famous starfighters in history. THQ has retained all 5 heroes and 11 of the 19 stages from JVC's top-notch Super NES game of the same name. The result is remarkably deep and very Game Boy entry. The action doesn't let whatever. So, they built this out of the JVC game. And I don't know what to think about that, because the JVC game is kind of like a beautiful disaster. And I don't know what THQ can really salvage from that for a Game Boy game. Guilty Gear XX Core Plus Chip, having taken revenge against the Assassin's Guild, begins making his efforts to become a president. First has Venom to vote for him, but declines, telling him he doesn't have the right to vote. Thank you, Venom. That's honest of you. Dude, hands down, without question, Guilty Gear has the most insane plot, definitely of any fighting game, possibly of any game ever. Like, they just, like, they didn't stray from the reservation. They never had a reservation to begin with. They're just out there in fucking space coming up with shit. Oh, this ended up being really good, chat. Okay, I'm sold. Dark rum and orange juice. 2 thumbs up. I think I might just mixed it Wrong. Why the fuck is that smiley face there? That smiley face represents Super Game Boy compatibility. That is the icon on the Super Game Boy that you push to enable Super Game Boy mode. Gets better the drunker you get. Imagine that. Han looks like Ted Danson. He really does, yeah. Happy Onion. Imagine Chip from Sonic Unleashed having Venom from Spider-Man to vote for him. It makes it so much funnier. Honestly, just within the Guilty Gear universe is pretty funny. Cause Chip is like a coked up hyperspeed ninja, and Venom is like this like emo pool playing assassin, like billiards pool. Happy Onion not to 3, the good ending of an Ashens video. So yeah, okay, anyway, they got the Dune Sea, ends with a fight against Jabba's Gate. That's the same as the JVC game. The dance hall, fight the Rancor, sail barge. They actually have a speeder bike stage in this. I'm kind of morbidly curious about that. Ewok Village, shield generator, Death Star. And it looks like, you can't see it because my dumbass is in the way. The trench run, or not trench run, the core run is top down. So let's check this shit out. I have, my expectations are in the toilet. I'm sorry. Like, I love the Game Boy. I love the Super Star Wars games, but come on, man. I don't, like I said, the JVC games work in spite of themselves. Like, honestly, the mechanics of them are awful and messy, and they make no sense, and they are insane, but they kind of come together to make this, like, beautiful disaster. I don't think you can do that on the Game Boy. I just don't think it's possible. The hardware is not there to support it. I remember playing a Game Gear port of Super Return of the Jedi. I felt alright. This 30 minutes playtime over a decade ago. Remember the speeder bike level from the... I mean, that was just like pure filler. I don't even know why I was there in the Super NES version. There are two strong flavors that fight each other. I mean, it's just the Super Game Boy is not... Oh, you probably want to see what's going on. The Game Boy is just not equipped for it. Like... JVZ Super Star Wars is really fast-paced. It is chaotic and messy, and there's like a shit ton of stuff going on screen all the time. The Game Boy can't do that. Oh, Lord. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, that was Lando. Star Wars! Amazing, great Star Wars! Do-do-do-do-do-do. Is this a cutscene? Something gonna happen? Are you waiting for me to push a button? No, you're not. Actually. Commander, I hope you're saying the new Death Star will be complete by the time the Emperor arrives. He is not as forgiving as I am. I remember how ominous a line that was after watching Vader murk Admiral Ozzel in the previous movie. And Captain Nita. Yes, Lord Vader, we shall double our efforts. Poor Moff Jared. He had an impossible task ahead of him. Meanwhile, on Luke's home planet Tatooine, the mysterious bounty hunter Boosh races towards Jabba the Hutt's palace. So we can be Luke, we can be Chewie, we can be Boosh. Nita tried, man. Nita's heart was in the right place. And Vader appreciated that. Apology accepted. Good thing about the Game Boy's low resolution makes it so much easier fake scaling with sprites. Oh boy. Oh boy. Huh. Huh. This, at first blush, is not actually that bad. This is not actually that bad. So Star Wars has been in the public consciousness so long we've accepted the gibberish nonsense that comes out of our mouth when we talk about it. I think the fandom, I think Star Wars fandom and the regrettable willingness of Star Wars fans like me to just regurgitate just nonsense bullshit as if I'm impressing somebody with my intimate knowledge of this franchise. I don't think it's doing anybody any favors. What's Star Wars? I hate it. Hi, Hildy! Oh, what a time to show up. Hate is strong, I don't care about it all. Hi. Using a slow tempo, this thing no, this is actually way better than I was expecting. This is really quite functional. It is not as chaotic as JVC Star Wars, but it's like paced appropriately for that. Like, it is identifiably JVC Star Wars. It has a lot of the same mechanics and whatnot. And did I just jump to my death? Hard to tell. I think I'm going the wrong way. Yep, that's the wrong way. Can you watch season 2 of Andor? Maybe once we're done living season 2 of Andor. Yeah. I actually haven't watched any Star Wars stuff in a while. I didn't actually finish watching the first season of Andor, so I haven't watched the second. I don't know, I just haven't really been in the mood for it. Got Tatooine and Jabba and Wookiees and Anakin, Watto and Jizz Whalers. What the fuck are we talking about? I mean, it is its own, like, microcosm of existence. You know? Like, Star Wars is its own, like, pocket existence. You know? People take a great deal of comfort in it existing and in their knowledge of it. They couldn't... Okay. They couldn't do the giant sprite, so we get this. I think that's his life bar at the bottom. Oh my god, this thing takes 1,000,000 hits. The boss's job is front door. They did the same thing in the Super NES one. Yeah, it's the stupid thing that C-3PO talks to when they first go to Jabba's palace. Really enjoy The Mandalorian, also enjoy Westerns. Vibe, I guess, would have Lone Wolf and Cub, but Star Wars, that is exactly, literally what Mandalorian is. And it's the first season of Mandalorian is excellent. In Super NES, this game, Chewie was good for the... Oh, that's really obnoxious. I think I fucked up, chat. Because I don't think Chewie has a special attack. New Star Wars make Scorpion Vader canon, then I'll get about Star Wars. To be fair, I hated this stage in Super Star Wars Super Return of the Jedi too. I didn't like the whole like brawler setup for it. Also, this one doesn't have like hidden power-ups. I mean, that's all to say. All the moon sleeve and shadows like Sonic. Nobody hears a paragon of taste. As a critic, you know you gotta be truthful. Like what you like. Don't make excuses for them, and don't apologize for the stuff you don't like. You ain't gotta love Star Wars to hang out around here. But you do have to put up with me, like, rambling about it all the time. No such thing as a guilty pleasure like you'd like makes you happy, was there feel bad about? Exactly! Also, I guess there's no weapon power-ups in this either. Chewie shoots lasers and that's it. No plasma, no ion, no seekers, no flame. Random from completion in the palace. The unforgiving Oddish. Oh, Unforgiven, yeah. Unforgiven and Northern Hymn. Isn't that game great? Hey, look, it's on. And that's supposed to be Bib Fortuna. We talked about this when we played Super Return of the Jedi. For some reason, they made him shoot shit out of his head tentacles. Who's there? I can't see you. Someone who loves you. Leia, you have hibernation sickness from being President Carbonite. Your eyesight will return soon. They got those lines backwards. She tells him about the hibernation sickness in her Boosh persona, and then she says someone who loves you after taking her helmet off. I'm a well-adjusted member of society, chat. Time for midnight dumplings. That sounds amazing. It's right there this whole time. You released Captain Soul and me, Jabba. There will be no bargain, Jedi. You'll regret this, I'm sure. Nerd, I sound like I was on Angry Yoshi Sonic rant last night in the Discord. Wait, Luke has to fight the dance hall? Oh no, Luke. Wow, they jumped straight to Luke fighting the Rancor. That's funny. Also, good effort with the Rancor. Sorry about the flashing lights. Lightsaber switches look legit cool on Game Boy. Honestly, it's one of those cases where the ghosting might actually make it look better. Jabba Sail Barge, cause it didn't see it. Okay, sorry. I want to beat the Sail Barge level so that I can see the speeder bike level. Also, you're gonna play as Slave Leia. Speaking of guilty pleasures. Let they who were not deeply influenced as a youngin by Slave Leia cast the first stone. I feel like Leia spent some time with the Belmont family. She's like the best character in the SNES game. No, hands down she was. She was crazy good in the SNES one. Just like straight OP. And it was great. And you only got to use her for one level. I always wanted a cheat code that let you play the rest of the game as Slave Leia. I wanted to smack up the Emperor with Slave Leia. How poetic would that have been? Listening to podcasts is reading the original trilogy. Reading the original trilogy. Like the scripts or the novelization. There's no genitalia other than Ace genitalia that was not influenced by Leia. Here, here. But dude, you enslave me now, you'll be turned on weirdly while you die. I realize her attack animation is like light colored against the white background. That's not ideal. Aw, boo. Never know the Slave Leia outfit. I mean, you know, you do you. Boba Fett? Boba Fett? Where? Chad, I hate Boba Fett. I don't want to be uncharitable. I like Tamura Morrison, and I think it's cool that he got more work. But, I hate Boba Fett. Oh my god. Okay, I did that poorly, but she's busted in this too. Boom! I find the idea of someone choking and shouting a fat slug piece of shit to death with manacles surprisingly apt in today's political climate. Definitely. Austin and I are just old enough to, this is probably the first hot girl in cuffs as a badass we've ever seen. Yes! Definitely. Yes. For me, it was Princess Leia and Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Those were my powerful female heroes as a child. Luke, Han, Chewie, and Leia race the forest moon on Endor. They must destroy the shield generator that protects the new Death Star. Add Scully, hell yes. Yeah, cannot forget that X-Files representation. Marion was fantastic. Marion was, like, for the time, Marion was an amazing character. Like, straight up just head-to-head with the male lead and, like, literally showing him to be a buffoon at times. Yeah. Yeah, it was a shame she didn't come back until later. It's also kind of a shame how she came back, to be fair. I'm your goddamn partner! Look, we must stop those scout bikers before they can warn the Empire that we are here. I remember that line from the movie. So Scully, did you hear the Ryan Crew? I did, yeah. I'm with you, Shadows. I don't... Oh. Okay. You know what? You know what? It's the Game Boy. They tried. Points for effort. Wasn't her fault Shia LaBeouf was in that movie, yeah. Chat, I will say, Dial of Destiny is better. It's not great, but it is significantly better. And the supporting, like, in particular, the supporting cast in Dial of Destiny is really quite good. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen's the villain. He's great. Yeah, Crystal Skull is definitely the low point of the indie series. But I think we all kind of knew that going in. People hate Shia so much they decided to traumatize Indy by killing his son. Dude, I know. I know. They just straight up kill him off between Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. And you know what? Honestly, good riddance. I actually didn't hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I didn't hate it. It's just not good. And for like, for an... Look. Raiders of the Lost Ark is Stone Cold classic. Maybe my favorite movie of all time. Okay? I know Temple of Doom is contentious, but I feel like it's a better movie than people give it credit for. I mean, really, really awkward, ethnic stereotypes aside, it's a solid movie. Last Crusade is also really, really good. As a kid, I liked it better than Raiders. As an adult, I like Raiders better. But yeah. Last Crusade is excellent. So coming off of 3 really, really good movies, Crystal Skull is rough, man. Like, it's not good. I was entertained by it, but it just doesn't capture the same magic. Like, you can see where they tried. You can really see where they tried. But yeah. No, Chaos, exactly. It's ham-fisted. It felt forced. Yeah. Dial of Destiny is better about that. It definitely doesn't feel as forced as Crystal Skull does. I still wouldn't put Dial of Destiny up with the original 3, but I don't regret watching it. I don't regret watching Crystal Skull either. But yeah, for me it's Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, Dial of Destiny, Crystal Skull. Here's a fun fact about that Game Boy Star Wars game. If you make it to the final level, the Death Star segment is halfway decent. Oh, okay. Well, damn. Also, good evening, Azza Josh. Good to see you. Clearly the worst of the original trilogy could be... Yeah. And worst of the original trilogy doesn't necessarily mean bad, you know? You have to hold down the A button to speed up and escape. Nowhere does it tell you this is even possible. Also, the weird dude that considers the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles canon. I like that show. I watched a lot of that show when I was a kid because I was a huge Indiana Jones fan. As big of a fan, I'm not sure I've ever mentioned this here, chat. As much of a fan of Star Wars as I am, I think the original Indiana Jones trilogy, I think those are my favorite movies. I think I may kind of be a bigger Indiana Jones fan than Star Wars. It's just, by volume, Indiana Jones better. It has 3 fantastic movies, 1 good movie, 1 okay movie. As opposed to the vast array of Star Wars dreck out there. Yeah, Temple of Doom has not aged well in that sense, but if you can look past it, it's a good movie. Indiana Jones movies are so much fun. They are the most fun movies to me. Indy also has a really underrated game output. I mean, we've been going through some of it. The old NES, SNES ones. I know the recent Indiana Jones adventure game, Circle whatever the most recent one is. I've heard that's fantastic, and I would really like to play it. Star Wars is 3 fantastic films, 3 middling entry, 3 shitty flicks, and no, I'll not take any further questions. I mean, the funny part is, that's probably the safest statement you can make. That pretty much covers your bases, because nobody knows where you're placed in the prequels or the sequels, so you're not actually pissing anybody off. Only series from that era I'd say is more fun is Back to the Future. Back to the Future is insanely fun, yeah. Back to the Future is really, really good. I give it to indie because I'm more of an adventure kid. I like adventures and I like the supernatural. But yeah, Back to the Future is way up there, yeah. Circle the Moon. Know you enjoy the tutorial for the new indie game? Rogue One I really enjoyed. Without knowing Star Wars is a really stressful allegory for nuclear war, and I dug that. Rogue One is excellent. Rogue One is really, really good. The only thing that bothers me about Rogue One, I don't love the writing in it. Like, it's a really, really good story, but the moment-to-moment scenes in general are not that good, and they kind of detract from the characters. I think you had a really, like, you had a very jaded cast in Rogue One, and I think it needed a bit more work to really make them work together. Outside of that, though, Rogue One is absolutely one of the best Star Wars movies. It is fantastic. In large part because it is willing to explore the unseemly sides of rebellion, which is something that the mainline Star Wars movies don't do, and it's something that pisses off a lot of the really hardcore Star Wars fans because they have this seemingly impenetrable bubble of what Star Wars has to be for them, and nothing that falls outside of that is allowed to exist. And I hate that, and I want that kind of fandom to die a horrible, messy death, because if they do, we get a lot more interesting stuff like Rogue One and Andor. Andor is also really good. I feel like it being Star Wars is kind of tangential while it worked well. And you know what? You know what? That's what I want from Star Wars. That is literally what I want. I want good stories that don't necessarily have to be Star Wars. Because if you're just obsessed with being Star Wars, you're just gonna get the same bullshit with the same characters over and over and over and over again. Like, Mandalorian is good because it's lone wolf and cub in a different setting. That itself is tangential to being Star Wars. But you know what? It worked. And it was really good. I was like Star Wars most was a little camp. I mean, that's fine too. You know, if you're not, I'm not gonna have a problem with anybody who doesn't like the more serious sides of Star Wars, because you know the original trilogy, they've got their lighthearted moments, they've got their camp moments, and they've also got their high drama moments and stuff. And I don't care what you take away from those. I don't care what aspects of them you really enjoy. And yeah, if the more serious, brooding Star Wars stuff in the modern era doesn't work for you, for that reason, excuse me, sorry, I'm getting worked up because we're talking about fucking Star Wars again. That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, my problem. Oh, I gave myself the hiccups. Damn it. Oh, the rest of this stream is gonna be really hard. Okay. My specific problem with the Star Wars fandom is and always will be the people who litigate what is and isn't Star Wars. That's my problem. Okay? My problem is not people who hate the sequel movies. My problem is the people who work, like, who don't want the sequel movies to exist. Okay? I hate the prequel movies. I think the Star Wars prequels suck ass. I think episode 1 is fucking unwatchable. Do I wish they don't exist? No, of course not. I'm not a fucking psychopath. People out there enjoy those movies. They exist and people like them. And most importantly, other things have been built atop that framework, which I do like the Clone Wars and Bad Batch. So, it's fine not to like things. It is not fine to try and deny those things to other people. Gatekeeping. Hayden Christensen grew on you. I think as an actor, yeah. My core problem with the prequels. Well, okay. My biggest problem with the prequels, I just don't think they're well-made movies. I think they're poorly paced and poorly shot and just awkward in general. But my biggest problem story-wise with the prequels is I think they do a really shitty job of showing the transition from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. I cannot buy Hayden Christensen's character as Darth Vader. It doesn't work for me. It's like, to me, it's like they just flip a switch and now he's murdering orphans. I get how they tried to go there, but I think they did a really shitty job with it. That's me. I think he wasn't allowed to grow as an actor before being put there. I mean, it's entirely possible. The problems with the original, not the original, Jesus Christ. The problems with the prequel trilogy are all Lucas. It's Lucas's writing and it's Lucas's directing. It became starkly obvious watching the prequel movies why the original trilogy worked so well is because they were collaborations. They were collaborations between Lucas and other people who were really good at what they did. Lucas is really good at the creative side, like the world building and the general plotting, but he's not that good of a director. He's not that good of a writer. He's really not that good of an editor. Like, he needed people to help him bring that vision to life. And the original trilogy compared to the prequel trilogy is the perfect example of that. Including his Yep. That split cost him more than he knows. More than he knew. So some of the prequels when I was a kid, I don't think I ever really cared much about them, except Episode 1 Racer, which banged as a game. Mentioned before, watching the demastered version of 4, 5, and 6 shocks me how much more palpable grit their settings. Yeah. They were very complete visions in their original version. They really did not need special edition. Fortunately, like, if nothing else, Empire and Jedi don't suffer too much from their special edition. They didn't have, I mean, Jedi gets that fucking awful musical scene in Jabba's palace. But neither of them is as bad as A New Hope. A New Hope just bloats out so bad. These days just really do not care. Well, the last 40 minutes must have been pretty torturous for you. Then, as the Josh, I apologize. Comes with the territory around here, though. It is bar none the easiest tangent to get me onto. Valid entity based on how many folks have a convo about it. It's disappointment as a conversation is so common. No. Okay, thank you. Every prop feels like something that was used for decades by its characters in the originals. Every area has visible grime to it. Big reason why you enjoyed episode 7. Still willing to throw opinions out there. Well, that's good at least. Defend the addition of the big scene on Yavin 4, though. I mean, yeah, it wasn't all bad, certainly. It's just when I watched Star Wars with my family, when I showed my wife had seen the original movies, I think. My kids obviously had never seen it. When I showed them Star Wars with the original movies, the original trilogy, it was very obvious to them where the additions were. They would ask me, like, why does this look so weird? It's like they added this like decades after. Fuck, literally this whole time I forgot about 7, 8, 9 that did exist. It's okay. Episode 7 was pretty by the numbers. I think things that deviated from in terms of expected Star Wars plot were really intriguing. Sequels. I loved 7 when it came out. I acknowledge that 7 was more or less a reimagining of A New Hope, and I thought that was fine. Because at that point, it had been decades since the last Star Wars film, and I thought it was fine to kind of reintroduce Star Wars using the language of the original film to show a new generation, like, what was so cool and fun about it, with some neat twists in there. I thought it was fine. I thought it was great. I thought 7 was an excellent setup for something more, and I got that. Episode 8. Episode 8 is my personal favorite Star Wars movie. I love it. I love it to death because it is the one Star Wars movie that really steps out and does something different from the other ones. And I thought it was I thought it had a lot of really great ideas and was setting up some really cool stuff, and I was excited to see where everything went. And then 9 fucked everything up. 9 retroactively made 7 and 8 worse. 9 was such a massive disappointment. I will never forgive J.J. Abrams for that. 7 is alright. I can see why Ford wanted to make sure his character is fucking dead and he loves money. Yeah. 9 might be your least favorite Star Wars film, period. Now, I will say this. I will say this. 9 was a huge disappointment for me, and the story made me really, really mad. That being said, I would watch 9 100 times before I'd watch any of the prequels again. That is how much I dislike the prequels. 9 is at least a fun movie. 9 is at least enjoyable if you turn your brain off and you don't think about what this means in the wider scope of Star Wars and its storytelling. You can't do that with the prequels. The prequels are just torturous. It's still so funny to me that for some reason 9's plot was established. Yeah. Yeah. It's so stupid. Modern marketing, chat. That's how it goes. Somehow, Palpatine returned. I mean, I've had to live with that line for so long. I almost have a grudging respect on it. Like, the balls on that writer to face the question, how did Emperor Palpatine come back after being thrown into a reactor core and exploding with an entire Death Star? Somehow. Like, holy shit. How did you write that with a straight face? How did you get Oscar Isaacs to give that line? Was he not looking at the script like, I can't say this. I'm better than this. Are you fucking kidding me? Satellite, yes. No. The literal line. Okay, they are at the Resistance base, and Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, is informing everybody of the stakes, okay? This, like, existential threat to the entire galaxy. And I am right hand to God, he says, with a straight face, somehow Palpatine returned. And I was gobsmacked. So with no investment in Star Wars, I'm delighted. Again, on some level, I kind of respect it. I kind of respect the balls on that writer to do that. I'm not forgetting that, Shadows. I know about that. Also, you're wrong. They do explain his return within the body of the movie. He was cloned. They have a whole Sith cloning facility on Exegol. I assume it's a fan joke. No way they actually say that. It's real. It's real. Also, they had to write Princess Leia out of it because Carrie Fisher passed away between 8 and 9. So she lays down and dies of sadness that her son is evil. I also appreciate we had a chance to just go off on Star Wars. Again, this is the easiest thing in the world to get me off on a tangent with. Like, for real, for real. I know, Secret Man of Music's so good. I also want to point out that the line was in the intro, so the intro... The intro scroll of episode 9 starts with the sentence, "The dead speak." Or "the dead speaks." Referring to a cryptic message from Palpatine transmitted across the galaxy that did not happen in the movie, but actually happened in Fortnite. The opening crawl of the movie references a thing that happened in Fortnite. How is episode 9 a real movie? I mean, again, it's pretty entertaining if you turn your brain off. Actually, it's actually pretty entertaining. More entertaining than the prequel movies. You know, 9 is hilariously bad, okay? But compare that to episode 2, which is so boring that to this day, I can't actually tell you all the things that happen in that movie. My brain just rejects it. Parts of that movie get stuck to parts of episode 1 and episode 3. Like, episode 2 is the most nothing movie in the entire, like Star Wars franchise. It does not deserve to exist. And I say that episode 9 has the same logic vibes as Leprechaun 5 into Hood. I respect the take that 9 is so bad that it wraps around to being good again. I mean, also. We're clowning on the shittiest parts of 9. 9 has a lot of good parts. 9 has a lot of entertaining, well-shot scenes. It has some good dialogue. It has some neat ideas. It's also just chock-a-block of bullshit, too. So. The idea of Palpatine transferring himself into a clone of his apprentices to live on was the idea I liked. Then the question becomes just how long has he been alive? Who was he originally? Is that why there's only ever 2 Sith? It's always been him. The next one he was grooming to be his host? Yeah, 2 is so forgettable. My mother is a big Star Wars fan, and when we went to go see 2 in theaters, she fell asleep. Side things are connected. No, the prequels, I can give the prequels a pass because all of the things based on the prequels are so much better. Like Clone Wars, Bad Batch, like the prequel era stuff is good. The prequels themselves are bad, very bad, no good. I like episode 2 for the investigation Kenobi goes on. It's like a Jedi private investigator story. The rest of his ass, though. Yeah, I don't. Because he basically goes to Geonosis and gets, like, stuck in a trap. He goes to, Clone Planet, gets clowned on by Jango and Baby Boba. Couldn't do it Vader because Anakin got cooked in lava, so I want Luke to take place. It does make sense, yeah, it does. I'm exactly one of those people that think sci-fi lives and dies based on verisimilitude and internal consistency, and Abrams is an idiot who doesn't respect that stuff. I totally get that. I gave up on that a long time ago. I'm primed to be an Abrams apologist because I'm okay with the rule of cool. I am fine with sci-fi and fantasy breaking its own internal conventions if it's for a good reason, if it's cool. But I don't think JJ had any excuses in episode 9. I don't think you can say any Star Wars film is completely unredeemable. There are good parts of all of them. I will stand here right now and say episode 1 is irredeemable. I fucking hate episode 1. I hate everything about it. I don't care about the pod race. I don't care about the Duel of the Fates. It's bad. It is bad enough to cancel out any good it attempts. I'm sorry. You like it? That's fine. You know, again, I'm not gonna argue that it shouldn't exist. I'm not gonna try and convince anybody they shouldn't like it. Episode 1's unwatchable to me. Filled up on Star Wars, I'll lurk until topic change. Massive chalice calls. Sounds good, Hildy. Now that's pod racing. Actually, that's probably a good incentive to move on past this and see what else we got. We have ruminated on the slope. Oh, okay. I don't think we're gonna get too hung up playing Defender or Joust, frankly. Sorry, these like the whole game, like Game Boy Arcade classics, never really did it for me. They were a bit before my time. You know, I got into video gaming because of Mario and Zelda. I got into video gaming because there was a point. There were places to go and things to do. There are some arcade games I like, but as a general rule, it's not for me. It's a trade negotiations, politics. Joust is a really fun game if you have 2 people, which Game Boy usually does not. Do wish the idea that Jar Jar was actually a Sith and the mayor of Drunken Fighter Kung Fu had been developed. I do too. I do too. At the same time, I will get really actively angry at people that try to argue that the prequels are good movies because of that. Because obviously that was the plan and it just never came to fruition. But if you close your eyes and plug your ears and think really hard about Darth Jar Jar, then the prequels are good. No, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Gotcha, Hildy! Alright, let's play Joust and or Defender. Defender and or Joust? I guess it's Defender first? I don't know. Well, it's been requested, so now we have to do both of them. Versus balloon fight is an excellent idea. Don't apologize. This is what you all show up for. I'm sorry, what? There we go. So is it Defender Joust or Joust Defender? It is it's Defender and Joust. Got it right the first time. Done in one. Boing. I love the early Namco museums for being able to wander around virtual museum. Yeah, that appeals to me. Just not the actual games. I like a Jar Jar intertwined with so many lives and the life of the Republic in general, and then just completely disappears from the plot. Oh, this is a neat little menu. I like this. Yeah, Williams. Cool. Good job. You did it. Actually, you know what? You know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh. Defender's actually kind of cool. Defender's actually kind of a neat movie. Neat game. Except for that. That was bullshit. You know, I learned recently to how the dude at all Silent Hill 1 cutscenes went on a really weird career. Art director of Goldeneye Road. Moonbase Alpha. Huh. I think I killed the person I was trying to save. I think I did it again. Those guys are assholes, and I don't like them. They don't like you either. Star Wars is setting has a lot of potential. Star Wars film series less so. They needed, in the wake of the sequel movies, they needed to just go ham. They needed to just let, like, whoever had an idea for Star Wars just do it. Just do whatever they fucking wanted. We needed kitschy, goofy, tongue-in-cheek Star Wars movies and grim and gritty, serious Star Wars movies. Like, any director that wanted to make a Star Wars film, they needed to just throw money at them and let them do it. And just see where things landed, you know? You can't tell me Disney doesn't have that kind of money. They're fucking Disney, okay? But unfortunately, like, the mixed reception that the sequels got and the relative failure of the young Han Solo movie just made them ridiculously gun-shy about everything. And now we haven't had a Star Wars film in, like, the better part of a decade. And it's really frustrating. Like, just make shit. Just have fun. Like, you can... Alright, Defender. If that's how you're gonna be... What the fuck is this? They have money, their employees don't fucking know it. Yeah, that's every company. The money is for the executives. Do not touch. That is C-suite money. Tongue-in-cheek Star Wars stuff is Lego Star Wars stuff. You're right, actually. You are right. No, I don't want to... Let me restart this so I can do some Joust. You want rock musical Star Wars? Sure. You want psychological Star Wars? We got you. You want studio trigger anime, the most ridiculous lightsaber fight possible? Fuck yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. I mean, it's not surprising that Disney forgot to have fun. You know? You can kind of look at their output overall and see that. Disney nagging the daughter of CFO's pro-union trying, so sort of... I mean, yeah, every little bit helps, certainly. Press flap to play. Is this OG Flappy Bird? Also the actual Disney Air? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's what they need in there. Not these Michael Eisner, Bob Iger shits. Favorite political war is Santorum v Disney. Is versus Balloon Flight. Big part of my issue with modern Star Wars is more me issue. The actual show. I feel like the Star Wars shows are trying to do hyper serious. Okay. We know about you and prestige TV shows. We know you hate it with a fiery passion. Yeah. Not trying to be rude here, but like the terrible inevitability of that coming up anytime anybody talks about anything even remotely serialized. And also, I like... Okay, you do you. All right, don't let any... Oh, I got grabbed. You know, don't let me change your mind about anything. Like what you like, dislike what you don't like. Okay then. I think I'm always a little skeptical when people are more critical of the format than the actual content. Hey, man, it's the egg wave. Like, I do have to wonder. I do have to wonder if you've really identified what it is about these that you don't like. If it really is the serialized format. Get the pushback against prestige TV. It also kind of undercuts any sort of argument discussion. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, all right. I did a chat. I did the thing. Again, these are not for me. These are super not for me. Hand should have been given the thumbs up. That would have been great. Yeah, this was post T2, so that would have been perfect. I've seen that apparently with a lot of the Star Wars TV shows are writing them without any key narrative or ending in mind. I feel like that as an approach can harm and what impact series and narrative arcs can have. Star Wars, when it wants, like, okay, look, perfect example. Star Wars, when it wants to make the most of the serialized format, does so. Mandalorian Season 1, Andor Seasons 1 and 2 are fantastic TV. They do a lot with the format and arguably tell stories that be, at the very least, really, really difficult to tell in any other format. But but they also have stuff like Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, which are really bad examples of the format, which really don't do anything with it. That spend like 6 or 8 episodes to accomplish absolutely nothing. And kind of just ruminate and circle the drain with characters that they're expecting people to clap like trained seals for. So, yeah, Star Wars in and of itself is a good example of this. It is not the format of serialized Star Wars that's the problem. It's what they're doing with it. Because there are some absolutely peak examples of serialized TV in Star Wars, and there's some absolute like trash. I have a legit question though. Curious which of the recent Star Wars comics are good. Kind of trying to get more into them. Oh, that's a good question. I am so like the most recent Star Wars comic I have is like Dark Horse from the 90s. By the way, if you like comics, if you like Star Wars, and you like shit that just makes no sense whatsoever, might I invite you to go seek out the old Marvel Star Wars comics from the 70s and 80s, because they are fucking insane. Absolutely no narrative or lore oversight whatsoever. They were just pulling shit directly from their asses, from a multitude of asses. I've only read like 2 or 3 of them, but they are so good. Fans of Scorpion Vader need to look this shit up, because that is exactly the kind of stuff you're going to be getting there. Yeah, absolutely. There's basically 3 eras of Star Wars comics, as far as I know. There's the Marvel era, which is no holds barred, absolutely insane bullshit. There's the Dark Horse era, which is much more cultivated. It is trying to help grow the whole extended universe that was going on in the 90s and early 2000s. And like with the rest of the Star Wars extended universe, there's some good stuff in there and a lot of dumb shit. But I do like the Dark Horse comics. I think, Dark Empire at this point is really interesting as a sort of like proto episode 9. Like you can actually see where some of the ideas for episode 9 came from in Dark Empire. The Droid series is really good. Tales of the Jedi was pretty cool. I wish I had more of those because they had some really, really incredible art. All right, Trade-On, have a good one. And then there's the modern era of comics, which I think is largely... Actually, I can't speak on it because I don't really know anything about the modern comics. Yeah, so... You'll have to figure that one out for yourself. But I can heartily recommend Marvel for insane bullshit, and I can recommend some of the Dark Horse stuff for working towards that greater extended universe concept. So, Dynamite and Marvel. Disney owns Marvel but licenses out Dynamite. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anyway. Moving on to, oh my god, it's win WrestleMania, chat. You, yes you, child reading Nintendo Power, can go toe-to-toe with these greasy, mulleted men and win, apparently. I don't know. Win the stand-up arcade game playing your own house, and WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game for your Super NES. So, that kind of sucks. They're not sending you to WrestleMania, they're just giving you the arcade game. Do an actual mid-carder we'll never do and win WrestleMania. Craft-wise, some of the best realism artists debuted in early Star Wars. Oh, okay. Has there ever been a wrestler who probably smells how he looks like this? Oh my god, that's so gross. Jesus Christ. Some of the books are good. People seem to respect, enjoy the X-Wing series. Yes, I always heard X-Wing Rogue Squadron novels were probably like peak extended universe stuff. The Timothy Zahn stuff was fine. It was good. There is some Mary suing in there. Just be aware, that's where Mara Jade came from, so brace yourself for that. In general, the Star Wars novels, the earlier you go with the Star Wars novels, the better they are. As they got further and further into the extended universe and built upon more and more bullshit, they got progressively worse and worse and more insane. So. But yeah, Thrawn Trilogy is good. X-Wing is good. Truce of Bakura is good. The Jedi Academy Trilogy is debatable. I liked it, but they were starting to jump the shark with that one. And definitely anything after that. Darksaber, Crystal Star. Yeah. Shit got weird. I kind of wish I still had my old Star Wars novels. I think my parents donated them or something. Inflicted them on somebody else, so. Second prize, WF sweatshirts and caps, arcade game, t-shirts, yada yada yada. That's all that. Play Strange Scaffold TMNT game. Is that the... Which one is that? Which one is that? Anything includes the words Yuzong or Vong can be skipped. Yeah. Yeah. Also, if you get to a character named Trioculus, don't question it. Just throw the book into the nearest shredder. You've made a terrible mistake. Most recent Strange... Oh yeah, I know Strange Scaffold. Xalavier Nelson and his cohorts. They make great stuff. Was wrestling a thing kids actually cared about? Yes! I was actually a big WWF fan. WWE fan. I guess that was around the time they changed the name, in middle school. I also lived in North Carolina It was culturally in the area a bigger thing. Like, all my friends watch wrestling. They got me into it, so. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The spectacle was something else. Try Oculus sounds like a shitty ad for VR. Yeah, I got into it in middle school. I stayed into it through high school because my roommate in high school was real big into it. And then from college, I kind of fell off. I just had other interests and never really went back to it. Also, hopefully, last tangent about Star Wars. If you want a really surreal Star Wars experience, as far as I know, the very first Star Wars Extended Universe novel is called Splinter of the Mind's Eye. It was written in between the release of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And it goes places with its story that, in retrospect, it probably shouldn't have gone. So, it's not a particularly good novel, but it is notable for that. But they do market Truce at Bakura first. Truce at Bakura is the first real extended universe novel. But like I said, Splinter of the Mind's Eye was written between A New Hope and Empire. It's not canon, certainly. It is not, never was. So it's pretty fucking weird. Yeah, Truce at Bakura was like the first like official extended universe because it came after all three of the movies. It came out in the 90s, I believe. Another kid's Star Wars book I remember where a childhood takes place. When I was a child, it takes place in a creepy theme park with a Sith-made VR attraction that shows people with worst nightmares trying to scan their minds. All right, Power Players Arena, Killer Instinct, scores. Super Punch Out, times. Power Challenge Doom. Missions to finish the first level with 100% score and kills items in secret areas. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. IndyCar Challenge, Kirby's Dream Course. Hey man, nice shot. That fake fossilized photograph is pretty cute. Oh yeah, tactical takedown, I got you. What's the Zog? Paleontologists recently unearthed this fantastic fossilized photograph. The creators of this cave art were undoubtedly skilled and dexterous. Too bad they didn't mail their entry to us in time. Get the recognition you deserve by mailing your high score prior to the contest deadline. Power Hour Power Challenge. So yeah. All right, we did actually make it to the now playing. I tell you what, if we just skip, we haven't really been going real crazy about the now playing lately. I think if we skim this, we can go ahead and finish the magazine tonight. I mean, look, if there's something you want to see in here, if there's something you weren't around for when we streamed it, I can give it a quick look. Now playing actually at the end this time. Yes, yes it is. 6 pages and now playing, we're home free. I think we can do that in 20 minutes. Because, I mean, frankly, I don't think folks are really gonna request much out of this. So I'm gonna skim the descriptions. I will read the pluses and minuses because those tend to be the most interesting parts of these. Because this is the other thing. How playing has gotten progressively more boring over time, especially since the exit of Rob and George. Long may they rest in piss. Yeah, the blurbs are really kind of, yeah, really just like that now playing is just Reader's Digest of what we already read. Yeah. They needed a Rob and or George, but with actual, like, editing talent, you know? They needed good writers doing this. And for all I know, the person putting this together might have been a great writer, might have had a lot more potential, and was just handcuffed by editorial decree or something. So anyway, let's go through this real quick. Big Sky Trooper, Slugs in Space, JVC boldly goes where no gastropod has gone before. Big Sky Trooper has the look and feel of a happy, colorful child's toy. Positives, well done for a young gaming audience, big friendly character, sense of humor. Minus is not complex enough for most gamers. Cute graphics won't appeal to many players. Navigation blandness using beacons is unnecessarily awkward. I would agree with that. Big Sky Trooper is an interesting game. It's got an interesting vibe to it, but it wasn't particularly fun to play. Boogerman. Fun graphics and gag animations, good play control, not great challenge. Hit detection ranges are small, making some jump moves difficult. They seem to overlook the fact that this game might just straight up be too gross for some people, like me. I ain't having this shit. My sports ball talk broke your stream for me, makes sense. I like how just remembering Ebert is showing your age. Yeah. Defender / Joust. Good play. Simple graphics. Emmett Smith Football. Custom play designs feature battery backed up memory for saving plays. Graphics and play controls aren't up to the Madden standards. No NFL licenses, no season play. So Madden has already become the standard. Thought that'd be Siskel, didn't he die much? Yeah, Siskel died early on. Ebert carried on in his stead. Yeah, Siskel died long ago. And then it was Ebert and Roper for a while. Roper wasn't bad. He just, you know, Siskel and Ebert were a thing, man. They were the Waldorf, like, they were Waldorf and Stadler, basically. Played straight, and it was great. They had some of the most amazing blow-ups between them, and it made them so much fun to watch. Yeah, Roper was just like, Roper was agreeable, you know. He and Siskel would, he and Ebert, God, I'm idiot. He and Ebert would have very, very civil disagreements, and that's not fucking why you watch Siskel and Ebert. You watch them to have them like an old married couple spat, you know? But, you know, it's not Ebert's fault. He and Siskel were one of a kind. You know, it's bad when we're reminiscing fondly about, look, Rob and George suck shit. Like, they were terrible. But I'm gonna say it, chat. I'm gonna say the C word. Cover your ears if you gotta. Get the kids out of the room. They were content, okay? Rob and George gave us something to talk about, and the modern Now Playing doesn't. I know. I kiss my mother with this mouth. But yeah. It's true, though. It's true. The worst thing any of this, games, movies, magazines about games, the worst any of this can be is boring. And we are right now in the episode 2 of the Now Playing. There's just not enough here, you know? Our heyday was in the like, we would spend multiple power hours nights just going through the Now Playing, because there was so much to rant and rave about, you know? And now it's just like we're skimming it, you know? There's no point in reading these blurbs. None. There's barely any point to reading the pluses or minuses, other than to just see if we agree with them or not. But like, I didn't play Emmett Smith Football. I didn't play Foreman for real, and I don't want to, so don't get any ideas. So like, what's the point of reading the pluses and minuses about games I don't give a shit about? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. getting a little ahead of myself here, but I think it's worth mentioning. I will never give up on the Power Hours. Know this now. The Power Hours is absolutely elemental to this channel. It is to be my life's work, taking y'all through the sum total run of Nintendo Power. That being said, doesn't mean the format can't change a little bit. And I am considering making some tweaks to the formula when we get to 1996 to kind of smooth over some of the rough edges. We may start going through the magazine a little bit faster, depending. We'll see. But we'll talk more about that when we get there, I think. One game a magazine, one magazine a game. FIFA 96 soccer, realistic AI, lots of options, North American soccer teams included. Animation frame rate seems slightly low. The actual on-field speed of players is very realistic. It's less that 96 is going to be that bad, and more that I've noticed the nature of the Power Hours has changed. A big part of that is what I'm talking about. It's the rough edges of the Power Hours that we used to make so much hay about, they're gone. It's a very streamlined and sanitized magazine now. There's just not as much to talk about in the magazine itself other than talking about the games themselves. You know, in the early days of the Power Hours, there was a lot to talk about just in the format of the magazine itself. The art direction, the page layouts, the editing. During the Rob and George era, I mean, fucking obviously, we had a lot to talk about there. But now everything has been very sanitized, you know? There's not really any surprises left. And, you know, we some other night we can go into detail about the whys and wherefores of that. You know, is it a response to, like, the 90s extreme content and just the way it's presented? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, it's just, like, the text and layouts just aren't as much fun to go through anymore. By the same token, people aren't as aggressive about requesting things anymore. And, you know, there's a litany of reasons for that. Part of that was my own pushback against, you know, nights where we just get bogged down in, like, the top 20 or here and the now playing like every single thing over and over and over again, to sometimes to the point of excess. So, yeah, yeah, these were all in the magazine. You know, it was, for a while, people were memeing on games that I really, really didn't like and weren't interested in. No, this is not a cry for help for Booger Man. I am perfectly happy never playing this game. Ever. But yeah, it's, you know, jokes get old. Things change. You know, the memes that were funny, they get tired after a while, and now it's like, you know, we're just kind of going through the motion of it. So it occurs to me that it might be time for a change. You know, maybe the Power Hours themselves are fine, but perhaps the format has grown a bit stagnant and needs a bit of a shake-up. So that's what I'm thinking about for when we start 96. It's not so much that the content of 96 itself is bad, but that the way that I present it to keep it fresh and fun for y'all might need an update. Straight up waiting for the magazine to reinvent itself from late 90s and 2000s at this point. Gotta keep fresh, I haven't been banned yet. The deep, dark secret of 96. Okay, this Foreman for Real blurb up here is pretty funny. Big George, feed me a horse foreman, fights for honor and fast food endorsements and claims new Super NES boxing type. Fairly challenging, good graphics. Lots of negatives, though. Control often slows in the heat of the bout when you need it most. Super Punch control is awkward. George is too dominating in two-player mode. Oof. There's a lot of sports stuff in here. Like this page. 8 games on this page. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are sports games. 2 of them are fighting games. One's Secret of Evermore, and one's the Spidey Man game. International Superstar Stalker Deluxe. Good though challenging AI. Good graphics, good sound. Radar screened out passing. Very tough as one player versus CMU at all but the easiest levels, regardless of your opponent. So, they fucked up the difficulty there. Killer Instinct on Game Boy. True Game Boy tournament fighter with excellent play control, enhanced Super Game Boy sound and color. Some cool moves are missing, not nearly as complex as Super NES or arcade version. Fewer control buttons results in simpler play. All that's legit. They did what they could, and that's where they ended up. Madden 96, all relevant players and team licenses plus stats from top. Some great options, improved graphics and controls. Sophisticated and fun for the dedicated football fan, up to 5 eligible receivers on the field. Pass-catching AI seems to favor the computer. Some stadiums have worse graphics than others. I kind of figured there wouldn't be too many major negatives for Madden, since I guess at the time this was a console seller. Mortal Kombat 3. Excellent graphics, cool combat code feature, new characters very close to the arcade game. AI is very hard on very hard, confusion of story plots. Okay, hang on. Nintendo Power's complaints about Mortal Kombat 3 is that the game is very hard on very hard. And that the story is confusing. Okay. Okay. I have to remember that I'm looking at this from the future. The point at which we were on the 12th Mortal Kombat game. Post multiple reboots and cross-world reimaginings. Like, I know NetherRealm. I know their games are going to be fucking hard. And I know that their plots are going to be all over the place, bonkers crazy. So I need to step back. I need to give Nintendo Power a little bit of credit here. This is Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were very straightforward in their stories. And we hadn't truly gotten to the era of, like, total bullshit fighting game bosses and the like. That culture hadn't really developed yet, so it's fine. It's fine. No pause was needed. NBA Live 96, improved AI, excellent animation, all the options you need to customize play. NBA player. Okay, it's not that exciting. The Power Hours, not the Power Hours, excuse me. I was about to say something really, really regrettable. The now playing is very boring now. Some computer players never miss. NHL 96. Best... Okay, this is actually, this little bit right here is pretty funny. Positives for NHL 96, best hockey graphics, team and player license, fighting option. Minuses. Colorado not in, Quebec is. Secret of Evermore, good graphics, sound and play control, great story and variety of play, battery backed up memory. 50 hours plus playtime? I don't think so, guys. I think they were puffing this shit up real bad. I think Nintendo Power was really going overboard on their gameplay estimates for some of these RPGs and the like. Secret of Evermore is not a 50-hour game. In fact, how long did it take me to play through Secret of Evermore? Five nights. 15 hours. 15. Not 50. 15. It is if you're bad at Secret of Evermore and before 60 hours. I mean, look. If you are the worst Secret of Evermore player on Earth, it's still not gonna take you more than like 30. Like, seriously. 15 hours of auto streaming. Streaming these games, streaming RPGs, 5 of that was Star Wars. Okay, I see what you're saying. I was about to argue with you the other direction, but yeah. Yeah, the actual game probably only took about 10 hours. Whether that left it on for long periods of time to capture screenshots from maps that use that run as their length estimate, I have no idea. I think they were just puffing. I think they were just trying to puff this stuff up. Spider-Man Venom's separation anxiety, good graphics, excellent soundtrack, 2-player cooperative action, cameos from other Marvel characters. Not much innovation, simple AI, no great challenge. Yada, yada, yada. Super Return of the Jedi, not good graphics. Sorry, no. Lots of action packed into a Game Boy pack. Loose play control, not as challenging as the Super NES version. That's a good thing. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm old. I'm old and feeble, and I just want to roll my face on the keyboard and get through my games. Tecmo Super Bowl 3 Final Edition. Excellent graphics and play control, full lineup of options and licensed, battery backed up memory, full seasons, quick learning curve, limited number of plays, fewer passing receiving choices on the field than Madden 96. Womp womp. Yeah, editorial oversight was really loose at this point. It's definitely the Game Boy one, but yeah. They fucked up the same thing last month with one of their games. I forget which one it was. Virtual League Baseball. Good graphics, good baseball mechanics. Difficult to make defensive plays at the fence. Whatever. Waterworld. Good background music. Not much variety in play or graphics. I know Nintendo Power wasn't actually going to tell on themselves with the fucking, like, made-up screenshots from the earlier versions, but whatever. And then Zoop. Challenging, not the usual Tetris clone. Jazzy soundtrack, steep learning curve. That's all fair. It's a solid puzzle game. All right, big winners this month. Defender and Joust. Killer Instinct on the Game Boy. Mortal Kombat 3. Secret of Evermore. Got big numbers and everything but play control. Tecmo got more editor picks than... Oh, Madden 96 didn't... That's interesting. The reviews made it sound like Madden was a better football game than Tecmo's Super Bowl. Oh, I don't know. They do say over here Final Edition is easier to play than Madden 96 and looks better. So actually, according to them, Tecmo Super Bowl 3 is the better game than Madden 96. Interesting. Smattering of support for some sports games. Leslie, fan of RPGs, puzzles, and adventures like Booger Man, so I think we can safely disregard her opinion in future issues. Even the game type labels are kind of boring now. Like, you don't get the weird hyper-specific genres like superhero action game for 2 players. Yeah, I know. Everything's becoming standardized. Everything, yeah. It's a shame, chat. It feels like Nintendo Power is losing its identity. Oh, well. Anyway, I'm going to say we did it. I am going to close requests. Let's take a quick tour of the pack watch and then call it a night. We got Wario Land coming up on the Virtual Boy. I will play this again when it shows up. Wario Land was actually pretty cool. NBA Run and... Contractual problems may have changed the name from NBA Run and Gun. Konami's NBA Give and Go is the same game. Oh, interesting. Okay. Mega Man X3 is on the way. I like X3, chat. I might be alone in this. I know it's not usually one of the Mega Man, one of the fan favorites, but I really like X3. I like it a lot, and I'm really excited for it to show up. I will probably go through the whole thing. Things will be better when the Virtual Boy establishes itself. I love shooting the shit about old video games. Me too, Asa Josh. I mean, that's really the whole point of the Power Hour, is bring like-minded folks together, give us a point of conversation for reminiscing about the good old days of video games. Yeah, I know most people don't like X3. I love it. Hopefully that's still true. Hopefully it won't have aged poorly for me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of shit in X3. They just kept adding stuff to it. And there is so much shit to find in it. But yeah. Also, it's not X4. And that makes me enjoy it quite a bit. Alright, what do we got here? WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. We saw that in the advertisement, or in the Players Poll contest. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? So there's a Scooby-Doo Super NES game on the way. War 2410 from new licensee Advanced Productions takes place from Super Conflict, the strategy game from Vic Tokai. This looks like Advance Wars. Or Famicom Wars, depending on what you know it as. Disney for the holidays? Disney Interactive sent a care package of shots including screens from Toy Story, the movie, and some Gargoyles art to tide us over. Is there a Gargoyles SNES game? I think there might be. They've played an early form of Gargoyles, so scheduled to be released in November. Chances are it won't show up until January. Pocahontas, Toy Story, Maui Mallard, Pinocchio. I know Maui Mallard's on the way. That, I barely remember that era of Disney. Don't recall a Scooby-Doo game, possibly never made it. I'll have to check, yeah. Did we look? Oh, you're right. We looked for the Gargoyles game, but never released. I remember that now. Mention of GoldenEye on N64. Okay. Final Fight 3 from Capcom. Also mention of Street Fighter Alpha. Nestor's Funky Bowling on Virtual Boy. Bandai plans to milk its popular Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for everything the license is worth, and apparently it's worth a lot. Bandai reports will follow up its Fighting Edition game with an action game for Virtual Boy. Spot Goes to Claim could be the telling title of the year. Spot Goes to Hollywood. THQ converting NBA Live, FIFA, and NHL for Game Boy. That's pretty much it. Oh, the Scooby-Doo game was released in America only. Okay, gotcha. So we'll look out for that. So yeah. I like they brought back Nestor, but just for the Virtual Boy. They knew that's all he deserved. Okay, so. We don't normally do this, but the released forecast here, just so you know, scheduled for the fall. So, you know, this is the November issue. So November, December. Or, I guess November. Breath of Fire 2, Cutthroat Island, DKC 2, Earthworm Jim 2, Final Fight 3, Frank Thomas Baseball, Mech Warrior, Mega Man X3, MK3, Mutant Chronicles, Pocahontas, Revolution X, Scooby-Doo Mystery, Secret of Evermore, Spawn, Toy Story, Urban Strike, War 2410, Wiz Wildcats, and WWF WrestleMania. Winter games are Gargoyles, Ken Griffey Jr. 2, and Super Mario RPG. Oh, he's in Pilot Wing 64. I didn't know that. So, yeah. And I'm not going to worry about Virtual Boy or Game Boy because there's nothing particularly exciting listed here. All right. Next issue, December 1995. The swan song of 1995, chat. And it looks like we're going back to DKC2 for this one. Unless y'all are feeling merciful, which you generally don't. Also included Earthworm Jim 2, which... frankly, I wouldn't mind taking a look at that. I've never played Earthworm Jim 2, and I'm not a big Earthworm Jim fan, but it might be an interesting experiment. WWF WrestleMania, Secret of Evermore Part 2, Wario Land gets a proper feature next month. And then there's this chat. Shoshinkai, the NU64 Showcase, live from Japan. Time Warp, Happy Daily Savings. Oh shit, that's right. Wait, is that right? I think is it tomorrow? I don't remember. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go to bed and wake up when my clock tells me to. But yeah. We did it! We made it, chat. We survived November of 1995. It's tonight? Okay. Gotcha. Well, cool. We did it. Alright. So, good night, Shadows. Good to see you. So, schedule reminder. Tomorrow night, nothing. Ain't streaming on Sundays. Don't do it. Monday, we will finish Final Fantasy IV. All that is left is the final dungeon. We will do as much as we can in the final dungeon. And then we're gonna go stick it to Zemus. And all that entails. Tuesday and Wednesday next week are up in the air. I probably won't be starting a new big game. I'll probably save that for the Monday after. I may do like a 2-night game, or I might do 2 one-offs or something. I don't know, we'll see. Next Thursday, we'll do a little break from the magazine. We'll do some special console thing. I'm not sure what. I might have more to say about that on Monday. Friday will probably be one of our regular Friday features. I would bank on a Master System Odyssey, chat. We're so close to being done with that. I think there's a pretty good chance that whenever it's in question, I'm just going to default to that so we can get ever closer. And then we'll start the next issue of the magazine, December 1995, 1 week from tonight, next Saturday. So that is the plan. So, you dip into as a Josh. Sounds good. I think it's time for everybody to dip. Let me see if there's anybody... What did I just do? I think I accidentally clicked myself. Is anybody up streaming? Anybody to send y'all over to? There is. There is. I am going to shuffle you off over to Smite, I think. He's doing one of his damage shufflers. I fucking love these things. I love Smite's damage shufflers. So, let's see how this is treating him. It's apparently session 27 of this one he's on. This damage shuffler includes 195 games. Fucking insane. Anyway, chat. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thanks for joining me for the end of November of 1995. Whole lot of rambling about Star Wars. Bunch of rambling about Nintendo Power itself. And then a little bit of gaming in there, just as a treat. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. I definitely needed this tonight. And hopefully I will see you all on Monday for the epic conclusion of Final Fantasy IV. But until then, as always, y'all take care. Bye, everybody.